Hello, this is Essie, the homeless woman, and tonight I'm going to be reading in some comments and replying to those comments. But first I want to talk about a comment that I got from the video that I said how society and people make it hard for the homeless. So in that video, I said that I'm not talking about homeless people on substance abuse. I'm talking about homeless people that don't do drugs. And I went on to talk about the homeless people that don't do drugs, like myself. So I got a comment from a lady that said, you're talking about discrimination, but yet you're discriminating against people on drugs. So I deleted her comment and I hid her from the channel, because out of that whole video, which I think was 20-some minutes long, I felt like she was nitpicking at one little thing that I said. She can see my videos, but she can comment, but we won't be able to see her comments. So just in case she's watching and she's the one that she sees this video, maybe you've been on drugs, or maybe you have somebody close to you that been on drugs. I'm guessing maybe you've been on drugs, because you're very sensitive about that little thing that I said. I have a lot of people in my family that is on drugs. So that's why I said maybe you've been on drugs, because it was so minor. Like, I cannot talk about something that I don't know. I have never been on drugs. And most of society, what I have dealt with since I've been homeless, is society putting us all together, putting all the homeless people together, and saying that we're all on drugs, we are either selling drugs, we are running from the law, all these horrible things. Like, I had one man to leave a comment and say that the vast majority of homeless people are on drugs or mentally ill. That's what he said. The vast majority. And it's a lot of people that think just like him, that thinks that. And why should I take on something that I have never did before? So when I said I'm not talking about homeless people that are on drugs, it's true. I never been on drugs, so I don't know anything about drugs. I cannot talk about something I don't know. So I had to move those people out of the way so I could talk about something I do know. I do know that I'm homeless and I'm not on drugs. I believe that homeless people that are on drugs, their main problem is drugs. And that's what they need to get off first, the drugs. Even if you put them into a home, they're still going to be on drugs. You got to address the drug issue first. For a person that's not on drugs, their main issue is being homeless. So I felt that the comment that she left was very petty, and that maybe she was on drugs or is on drugs, and she's very sensitive about that subject. So anyway, I think I had got another comment, but I can't think of it. Oh yeah, it was something else I want to address too, because I know I make these videos, and I have another channel called Essie, a child in Yahweh. And one time I was reading the scripture, and the lady told me to cover my hair. And sometimes I know I make these videos and I'm showing cleavage, and then I get comments telling me to be modest and cover up and stuff like that. And it's like, you're not listening to anything that's coming out my mouth. you're so some people, not everyone, are so focused on my hair and my cleavage that you're not listening to anything that's coming out of my mouth. You haven't made a comment on anything that I said. You just looking me up and down and then making comments about my hair and my clothes. And I mean, I like the good comments about my dresses and stuff. I like that. But you know, telling me to cover up and all that stuff, it's just, I thought about today when Yahweh created Adam and Eve, Yahweh Elohim, when he created Adam and Eve and he put them in the garden, they were nude. They didn't have on no clothes, and they were not ashamed. So that's really how we were intended to be, you know, nude and not ashamed, naked. And when Adam ate that fruit in the midst of the garden, then they were aware that they were nude and they were trying to cover up. But I think that, you know, we should focus on what's important and not telling me to cover my hair or cover my cleavage, because I'm almost 50. And I have had people to say it, but I still wear what I want to wear, you know. I'm still going to show my cleavage. I'm still going to show my hair. So it just doesn't make sense to even leave the comment, because I'm a grown woman. And that is not going to keep me from the kingdom. I'm already in the kingdom. I'm already in the garden. So, you know, it doesn't make any sense, you know. It's not going to keep me from being a child of Yahweh. It can't take away, you know, Yahweh is not going to be taken away from me because I show cleavage or I read the scriptures and my hair is not covered. So, a lot of those things that y'all that's talking about is really like in the Old Testament, and we in the New Testament now. So, I got a comment from someone. She sound like she kind of young, but I don't know. You never know these days. Now, this person is commenting off a short that I did about the discrimination against the address. I see that I had got some comments about the restroom and some comments about the address. So it was a short, 60-minute short, and this woman thinks she know everything about me in 60 seconds. I said 60 minutes, 60 seconds. So she says, it's part of your identity because some people have the same name. An address establishes a person. It makes the difference between people with the same name as you. That's why they ask for your birthday, driver's license, or state ID if you don't drive. They need multiple validations so as not to confuse you with someone else with the same name. I'm sorry you don't have an address, but it helps if you did. Also, okay, so let's just address that part about her saying that it's part of my identity and some people may have the same name and establish you and all that stuff. Now, this country does everything else to help everybody else. This country, you do not need an address to perform certain things, to cash a check, you do not need an address. Long as you have a picture ID, and maybe if they want another card with your name on it, you have your birthday, social security number, because somebody left a comment and said you don't need an address as long as you have your social security number. Social Security number. Nobody has the same Social Security number. And I doubt it if the person that has the same name as you was actually born on the same exact day as you in the same year. So it just doesn't make sense that, you know, by her comment saying that address, you need an address. You don't need an address. There's all kinds of ways to establish who you are without an address. Everyone do not have an address. And if you were homeless, you will understand exactly what I'm saying. But I can tell that you've never been homeless before because you talk like you've never been homeless before. I could tell people that's never been homeless before, they have no understanding whatsoever. And the Bible talks about it's a good thing to have understanding. But these people that leave these comments have no understanding. You cannot understand someone else's point of view. You cannot put yourself in someone else's point of view. You just only put yourself in your own. Some of these people literally think that they're never going to be homeless before. They're never going to be homeless. And anyone could become homeless. So she go on to say, I'm sorry you don't have an address, but it helps if you did. Also, they might need to contact you. You need a phone number and or address. What she think I was recording a video on? A camera and not a phone? So it's not discrimination. You can twist it against them by accusing the ones trying to identify you, but they can twist it against you too by accusing you of fraud by evading criteria. So I'm twisting it against them by speaking up for the homeless and saying that we do not need an address to cash a check and to perform certain things, that they can find other ways to identify who we are. So I'm twisting it against them. And then she says that they can twist it against me by accusing you of fraud by evading criteria. So how am I evading criteria? I have not evaded no criteria at all. None. I'm simply complaining and about bringing awareness about homeless people and them making it hard for the homeless by saying that we need an address. By them really trying to trap you into working for them and then turn around and paying them rent. A lot of rent. So it's not evading. I'm not evading and I'm not twisting nothing against them. Okay, and the next thing she say, you don't have to rent. You could live with family. So I guess that's the answer to all the homeless people. Just go live with your family. If you think that that's the answer, then there would be no homeless people. If you think all the people can go live with their family, there would be no homeless people. See what I'm saying about people have no understanding whatsoever. Maybe this person can live with their family as long as they want, but everybody can't do that. Some people don't have parents. Some people don't have family. Some people don't have good family that will help them. Everybody don't have family that will let them live with them. Okay, and having a job is not slavery. Maybe it's not to you, but to some people it is slavery. When you standing on your feet for hours all day, and your feet is hurting, and your back is hurting, and your ankles is hurting, and you making minimum wage, and you barely getting by, minimum wage is not going to pay for you a place to live. I mean, it may rent a room, but it's not going to pay for you your own apartment. I have been the most body aching, hurting on the minimum wage jobs than I was on the jobs that paid more. I had more body aches, more pains when I was working minimum wage jobs than I was when I worked jobs that paid more. That's slavery. To me, that's slavery. Maybe it's not to you, but it's slavery when you get out there and you work real hard and you're barely getting by. Then they make it hard for you if you're homeless. They're making it so that you have to go get a place and you have to pay all this rent money. They raise the rent when they want to. They come inside your apartment when they want to. You might have some neighbors that's playing loud music, having loud intercourse. They might be smoking marijuana and you smelling that stuff all the time. Always having company over and they loud. Can barely get a decent parking spot if you don't have assigned parking. And when you do have assigned parking, somebody might park next to you and throw their door out and hit your car. There's always something in apartment buildings, turning off the water, having problems with the security gate, letting your company in because they ain't fixed the security gate. You pay all that rent and you have all those problems. Next, she says, not all property owners are rich people. I know that. I know that all property owners are not rich people. Like I say, people really think we don't have a brain to think with. Homeless people don't have a brain to think with. I have not been homeless. I did not come out of my mother's womb homeless. I've been homeless for the past 12 years. I'm 49 years old, going on 50. So most of my life I had a place to live. But people talk to me like I have always been homeless. Like I don't know nothing. The next thing she says is, let me see. Not all property owners are rich people. There are different levels of classes. Just because you're at the bottom doesn't mean everyone else is rich. I laughed when I read that one. Just because you at the bottom don't mean everyone else is rich. I'm at the bottom of what? I don't think I'm at the bottom. And I know my Heavenly Father Yahweh don't think I'm at the bottom. You think I'm at the bottom. You think I'm at the bottom because of lack of money and material possessions, so that makes me at the bottom. The bottom of what? Success, money, materialistic things? That bottom? Because spiritually I'm at the top. That's really all that matters. I could tell this person is in darkness. They have a carnal mind. They're worldly. By the fact that she says, I'm at the bottom. You know, the Bible talks about Lazarus. Because there was two Lazarus in the Bible, you know. One was the man that Joshua called out of he had passed away and they put him in a tomb, and Yahshua called his name, Lazarus, come forth. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the poor one. He was a poor man, and he ate the crumbs from the king. When the king was eating his food and he dropped his crumbs, Lazarus, the poor man, picked up the crumbs and ate them. And both of those two men died, the king and the poor man Lazarus that ate the crumbs off the ground. They both died. And guess which one went to hell and which one went to heaven? The king, the rich king, went to hell. And the poor man Lazarus went to heaven, and he was in the bosom of Abraham, comforted in the bosom of Abraham. And the rich man that was in hell wanted Lazarus to go and tell his family not to come to this place, hell, to not come to this place. And Abraham told him, no, he can't do that. They have the law and the prophets, which is the Old Testament. So, I'm not at the bottom. I'm at the top of what really matters, what really counts. See, your bottom don't matter. Okay, the next thing. Where was I at? Okay. You should try to earn money for yourself. A 60-second video. I earn money. I do Uber. I have other little things I do too to make money. If you don't want a home, ask if you can use someone's address to receive mail. I use my mother's address. And I have a P.O. box. But there was a time where me and my mother wasn't, I wasn't talking to my mother, so I couldn't use her address. So a lot of homeless people, they don't have nobody's address that they can use. Or pay for a mailbox. Yeah, I have a P.O. box. I don't see how she could leave such a long comment like this on a 60-second video. Like she know me. I didn't block her. Because I wanted her to, I didn't block her. So, I got another comment under the same, let me see what time it is. Okay. I got another comment under the same video, talking to me. Yeah. I was homeless for 3 years. Every time I tried to get a job, nope, I had no address. See, this is another one. How can people get a job if they need an address? How can they get up off their feet if you tell them, oh, we can't hire you because you don't have an address? I tried to go open a account at a credit union, and they turned me away because I didn't have an address. So you make it hard for people that are homeless to get up on their feet. If you turn around and tell them that they need an address, how can they get one if they can't get a job? So yeah, this is what she said. I was homeless for 3 years. Every time I tried to get a job, nope, I had no address. How are we supposed to get on my feet? Every homeless person isn't a drug addict nor a loser. We are mothers with children. We are seniors. We are getting priced out of affordable housing. Tell them, girl. When I was homeless, I had my car which broke down. I made up an address, 123 Homeless Mom Way. I thought that was so funny. So I told her, I said, I want to read your comment on the next video. I thought that was so funny. See, she gets it. She's homeless or been homeless. She's been homeless in the past. So she can relate to what I'm saying. She can understand what I'm saying because she has been in the same footsteps. But you leaving a comment like this I can tell you never been homeless. Why are you even... What you're gonna give me advice about being homeless and what I should do when you never been homeless? Anyway, I got another comment from a lady replying to the first comment that I read. No, babe, your social security number takes care of that. No need for an address. That's right. So that's it. Keep those comments coming. I've been talking for like 25 minutes, so yeah, so tomorrow I gotta do Uber. Today is Thursday and I was gonna do Uber today, but I said let me do a YouTube video, and then I spent a lot of time on doing shorts and posting them, you know, ahead of time. So I plan on doing Uber this weekend, so you probably won't hear from me this weekend, but I'll be putting out shorts around 1 o'clock every day. So I hope you guys are doing good and hang in there. Thank you for all the good comments, and I appreciate y'all, and thank you again, Jason. All right, talk to you later. Have a good night.